some reason when I use Zoom, instead of looking directly at the camera, I find myself looking at my box. And then when I look at the replays, I'm like, I'm not even looking straight at the people.
You did an excellent job for church service today, though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For some reason, I'm hearing a delay.
My screen says live on YouTube.
Yeah, we're live. We're live. I'm just hearing a delay.
Oh.
All right. Welcome to our online. We want to welcome our online audience to our first ever virtual alumni honors program. I'm Jared Patterson. I'm president of the National Oakwood Adventist Academy Alumni Association. And I also have our executive vice president, Robin Lang, as my co-host. Go ahead and wave, Robin.
Hey, guys.
We want to especially give some shout outs here. First shout out is going to be to all the classes of the zeros, 1940, 1950, 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. We were hoping to celebrate you all live and in person this weekend, but of course, due to everything that's going on with the COVID pandemic, we are having to change some things and do things, some things that would be a little bit more creative in the virtual space. And prayerfully, we hope that we will be able to meet next year to celebrate the 125th anniversary, the anniversary of Oakwood Adventist Academy. All right. We also want to, I got an email about an hour ago from Dr. Jessie Godley Bradley, one of our former principals, and she sent me kind of like a history of the Alumni Association. And so I just want to shout her out for being one of the individuals to have the vision to begin the Alumni Association, and also shout out Pastor Steve Norman, who served as its first president. And the first alumni weekend was celebrated most notably on November 7th through 9th in 1997. So this is a kind of a tradition that we've continued since then. We also want to encourage our alumni to go to www.oaaalumni.org, click on Alumni Weekend, and go to the 2020 Alumni Honorees, and you'll see all of our honorees there listed there. And you can click on each one and view their bio and a more detailed bio and see what they look like in their bios, and listen to special words that they have for us. So go to our website, www.oaaalumni.org, click on Alumni Weekend, then go to Alumni Honorees, read the detailed bios of our honorees, and also listen to special words that they have made for us. All right, so right now we're going to, we are going to go right into our awards portion. And so I'm going to introduce our awardees. And we're going to begin with Well, one of the reasons when we talk about how we determined who we were going to nominate, one of the things, as I may have mentioned earlier, one of the things I really like about the internet is that it's social media, I would say, to a certain extent. One of the positive things about social media is that it allows us to be able to keep in contact with one another and kind of follow each other and see what each other, what we're all doing and the things that we're involved in and things that we're doing in life. And so a lot of the individuals, when I nominate individuals for these awards, a lot of it is because I've been watching, not stalking, but I've been watching people online and watching what they're doing and looking at the things they post. And I've been really impressed about some of the things that I've seen. And others have been nominated by people who've had previous or prior relationships. And so the individuals that are nominated are people that are in a special group. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go through introduce our nominees. And the Spirit of Service Award is our first award, and it is designed to honor an alumnus that has been an excellent representative of Oakwood Adventist Academy through active community service, serving with an inspirational optimism and leading the way for others through their actions and involvement. Our Spirit of Service Award honoree is Dr. Oliver Davis Jr., class of 1987. 87. Dr. Davis is a social worker by profession. He is the former 3-term city council member for the city of South Bend, Indiana, and is now the Democratic candidate for the St. Joseph County Commission District number 2. The Outstanding Contributor Award is given to an alumnus who has made significant financial and time contributions in support of the mission of Oakwood Adventist Academy. Our Outstanding Contributor Award honoree is Dr. Everett Roper. Dr. Everett Roper is an engineer by profession. He currently serves as Deputy Product Manager for the U.S. Army Missile Defense Program, where he manages a team of 75 individuals. Dr. Roper is also the immediate past president of the Alumni Association and now serves as the chair of the Oakwood Adventist Academy School Board. The Excellence Award is given to an alumnus who has shown excellence in teaching and learning and research and or leadership. Our Excellence Award honoree is Mrs. Jewell Ralph, class of 1991, right before B. Mrs. Ralph is an experienced educator and administrator. Currently, she is the principal at Cantonsville Center for Alternative Studies. In addition, Mrs. Ralph actively seeks out and establishes partnerships with organizations in her local community to benefit her students and their families. She also works to improve the lives of the youth in her community and is very active in various organizations, including the National Alliance of Black School Educators, Baltimore County Alliance of Black School Educators, Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated, and Leadership Baltimore County. The Community Impact Award is designed to honor an alumnus who has made an extraordinary impact through time, support, or money on a local level to better their community. Our Community Impact honoree is the Honorable Arlander Keys, class of 1962, retired United States Magistrate Judge for the Northern District of Illinois. In his career, Judge Keys has presided over thousands of criminal and civil cases. He also has significant experience mediating cases in labor and employment, consumer protection and personal injury, intellectual property, business, commercial disputes, securities violations, and antitrust issues. After retiring from a distinguished legal career, Judge Keys currently serves as a mediator and arbitrator for JAMS mediation, arbitration, and ADR services. And finally, the President's Award is given to an alumnus or supporter on behalf of the President of the National Oakwood Adventist Academy Alumni Association, who has demonstrated exemplary leadership in advocating on behalf of Oakwood Adventist Academy. Our President's Award honoree is Mrs. Judy Chiles-Dent. Mrs. Dent is a very experienced educator and administrator with over 48 years of experience, both in the public and SDA systems. She is also a 2-time finalist for the Principal of the Year in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. Mrs. Dent is currently the principal of Oakwood Adventist Academy. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of the National Oakwood Adventist Academy Alumni Association, we honor each of you for your contributions you have made and are making in your local communities and in the world at large. Now let's have an informal discussion. We want to ask our audience to participate in the discussion by leaving comments on the discussion board there on YouTube. So we're going to go around the table, and we're going to ask a series of questions, and we just want to get into an informal conversation with you all. So we'll start with Dr. Davis. We'll start with you, Olive. What was your most memorable Oakwood Adventist Academy experience?
My most memorable Oakwood Academy experience was on a choir trip to Collegedale Academy. I sang a solo that day, and it didn't turn out well. And I heard a lot of laughter, and I was really down. And that evening, right before our next concert, Mr. Reed, our old choir director, came back to me and said, I want you to sing again tonight. I said to him, did you hear what happened today? And he said, I want you to sing again tonight. And that to me was something that really changed my world, because I appreciate him and I think about him often because of the fact that he really gave me the confidence that I needed to move forward in several different times that he was with me. And throughout my life in service, as I get up front, sometimes I still get nervous here at age 51. And when I start getting nervous, I think about Mr. Reed believing in me and said, you're going to sing again tonight. And so he taught me how to come back from defeat and how to win again. And that has been my really energy throughout my life, him and throughout many people at Oakwood Academy. But that in particular, because hearing laughter was something else. And at the age of being in a junior in high school, it was kind of rough. He heard it, but then he made sure I didn't hear it. And that's my calling in life, to make sure that people don't hear the laughter in their life. They hear the encouraging words, and that's my job. So that's what I provide in my civic life here in the council, and when I am a therapist, to help people to get beyond the laughter or the pain in their life.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jewell?
Elder T. Marshall Kelly's Bible class. Those were wonderful. It didn't matter what kind of day you had. You would go to Bible class, and if it was a down day, you could convince Elder T. Marshall Kelly to start singing for you in class. And our favorite song would be Little Boy Build a Boat. And he would sing it, and he would sing it, and we would smile like we were 3-year-old kids in a candy store, because it just made us so happy. So Elder T. Marshall Kelly's Bible class is probably one of my fondest memories.
It's crazy that you said that, because we had a virtual meet and greet last night, and someone mentioned that very same thing in our class. We would do the same thing on test days. We would ask elders to oblige us with a song, and the elder would go and sit at the piano and start playing, and that would delay that exam. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. What about you, Everett?
Let's see here. It's hard. I don't want to single out Elder Kelly, and I'm not saying that that's not a good recognition. I appreciate that, and I agree with that. But I think when I think about Oakwood Academy, I think about the brotherhood and the friendships. There's one thing about Oakwood Academy: when you leave when you're in that school, you think about your class. You're committed to your class. I was in the class of '88, so there's a brotherhood in your class. Mm-hmm. When you leave Oakwood Academy, the brotherhood is wide at that point, and everybody becomes your classmate. And so I can look at Oliver, I can look at Jewell, and I can look at Robert, and I can look at you, and it almost feels like, I don't even know when you graduated, but I know you went there, and so we feel like family. We feel close. When I'm playing basketball with the fellas, You know, I'm playing with guys that are older than me and younger than me, but at the same time, it just feels like we're just all connected. And there's something to be said about what goes on in that school. I was going to say hallway, right? We can't say that. There's something to be said about what goes on in that school system, because it's a brotherhood that you can't explain. It's a friendship you can't explain. I know Oakwood University says the same thing about the lifelong friends that you have. But if there's an Oakwood Adventist Academy graduate in the building or in the room or where you are in the space where you are, there's a special connection. I can't describe it, but I don't want to stop there. It's not just with the other students and my peers. It's also with the teachers, and Jewell hit on that perfectly. Not just Elder Kelly, but the friendships that you have with teachers, they become like parents afterwards. I just, when I see Miss O'Brien, I know she's ill right now. I'm praying for her and her family. When I see Miss O'Brien, when I see Mr. Lang, when I see Mr. Monroe, when I see Judy Dean, I'm calling these names and I'm seeing you guys smiling, so you know what I mean. There are connections there that they're teachers, but they're also like guardians, and they're like grandparents, and they're like parents. And you look out for them and you love them for the rest of your life. So like any school system, when you're there, the teachers get on your nerves, you know, when you're at that age. But when you leave there, the friendship bond is so tight that I could pick up the phone and call any one of those people I just named right now, and it feels like I'm talking to them like it's just yesterday. And so I can't answer that question, you know, just in one experience. I think it's broad, it's holistic, and I appreciate that about Oakwood Adventist Academy, and it just continues to grow.
Okay. What about you, Judge Keys?
Well, I think I have a series of really important milestones that I started actually at Oakwood. And I think the most important to me is the work ethic that I developed working while going to school full-time at the academy. Now, I came to the academy, I was about 14 and a half years old. I had from Belzoni, Mississippi, which was at that period of time was very segregated, and we had the Ku Klux Klan, we had the White Citizen Council, we had and my grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents, and they were Seventh-day Adventists, and they thought that my experiences, they thought that I could do better than they had done in their lives, even though I now look back on it and they've done remarkably well. And I had worked on the farm in Belzoni as a sharecropper's grandson. And I thought that I had worked really hard and developed a work ethic. But when I went to Oakwood, I realized that I had a lot to learn about responsibility, about humility, and hard work. And we worked from I'll drop a couple of names here: Fred Parker, Matthew Green, James Hudson. We all worked on the farm and in the dairy under the leadership of Mr. Lawrence Jacobs. And we actually worked. We worked from 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning to the 11 a.m. Then we came to the dormitory and we took showers and we went to lunch. After lunch, maybe about 12:15, we went to classes until about 4:45 or 5 o'clock. And that I thought that what we learned, or what I learned from the teachers that that taught us, and I'll drop a few names here that I recall very vividly, and that's Ms. Winslow, Florence Winslow, Miss Meredith, Professor Ashby was a Spanish teacher. Math was Miss Meredith. English was Ms. Winslow. Reynolds, Dr. Reynolds, and Mr. Reynolds was the biology professor, and Mr. Veal was the religion professor. We learned a lot from them, and as Dr. Roper has stated, they were more than just teachers. They wanted to make sure that we learned, and that we could always come to them after hours to talk about things. not just about what we were learning in class, but life in general. And I think that that experience, going to the academy, coming out of Mississippi at 14 and a half years old, and they actually, I must say, they actually raised me. And they raised me and taught me the importance of work, humility, and honesty. And it's something that has gone with me, has traveled with me throughout my career as a military in the Marine Corps, as a law professor, as a as a as a lawyer, as a judge for 20 years on the bench. And even when I served as a judge, I was one of the very few African-American judges on the bench in the state of Illinois. And people would, especially when African-American litigants would come before me, I think they knew from my reputation that they were going to get a fair shake, whether they won or lose or lost, whether it was a criminal case or a civil case, whether it was a administrative review. They knew that they're going to get a fair shake from me, whether they won or lost. And I thought that that was most important. And again, I think that is something that I learned from all of those professors at the academy, and it's something that has served me well throughout my career.
That's great. That's great. Mrs. Dent, we're gonna kind of switch it up for you. What has been your most memorable Oakwood Adventist Academy experience as principal so far?
Well, I've had several, and I want to be able to tell you there are 1,000 people blowing up my phone because they can't get to this site. So I told my husband to just do what he could to just make sure that they got the right link. So my
We'll
phone.
tell them just to go to YouTube and put in National Oakwood Adventist Academy Alumni Association. It'll pop up.
Okay, that's what they were trying to do, but he's working with it. My most memorable, I have several.
Okay.
But one, since we have been in this pandemic and we have several of our students who are traditional students in our elementary school, and one thing that warmed my heart just this last week of having lunch duty. See, I've been serving as the lunch duty girl for the last 3 weeks. And the children were sitting there eating, the little first graders, and sitting there eating, saying, and talking to each other, we love Mrs. Dent. We just love her. And I just sat there playing music for them while they were eating their lunch, and for them to say that. And then my high school young people in the gym or wherever I see them in the classroom, they'll throw their arms around me as if I've always been there. And that's when I listened to all of you talking about Oakwood Adventist Academy. The students learn to love you when you love them back. And so I feel as if that I've always been there when we had our red carpet event on the first day of school last year. And this year was so different because we had to take temperatures of our children and bring them in and be very gentle with them in the virtual platform. It has just been wonderful, but I have felt the love over the screen with these young people who don't, when I visit their Zoom classrooms, don't want me to leave the classroom just simply by sitting and watching them interact with their teachers. Another thing that I have that is real important to be able to share. When I came as the principal last year, I met a wonderful group of workers at Oakwood Adventist Academy. My administrative staff, Dr. Williams, Ms. Chantel Callender, Mrs. Green, Mrs. North, and Mrs. Mitchell, they embraced me in such a way that I felt as if they were ensuring that I didn't fail. They gave me the opportunity to get to know them, to also learn the community. And Dr. Roper was there right along with me as if I had known him forever. But when you come in with skills of being an administrator, it's real important to understand the community. And the community allowed me to love them up, and they've given me the same respect. Dr. Patterson, as children in our school, you've been there. And that's what has been great about being the principal of Oakwood Adventist Academy. Not coming in, I want to change things, I want to do this, I want to do that, but embracing people. And when you embrace them, they will work hard with you and for you. And if we've had any measure of success, it has been because of the people of the Oakwood Adventist Academy community. So every day I go in, I look forward to going in. Every day I go home, I look forward to being home. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience to work with. And I can't just pick out one, but the one that I felt the strongest as of yesterday, going through this pandemic, were my little people telling me how much they loved me.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. Robin?
Oh, let's see. I just have mostly a bunch of funny stories from my time at the Academy as my most memorable times. I think the one that comes to mind most of all is a day that we were just having a lot of fun. I think I was in like 10th grade, and we were leaving from a week of prayer type service or something like that. And like the whole school got on the bus to leave, and Jared Roddy, after some wait, we waited for the teachers for a while. Jared Roddy got into the bus and drove us back to the Academy. So you can imagine the hilarity that ensued as a result of those actions. So just a lot of stories like that. Just the most wonderful times of my life, in short.
Okay. All right. So we're going to, it's our next round. What difference has Oakwood Adventist Academy made in your choice of career? That's the question. What difference has Oakwood Adventist Academy made in your choice of career? And anybody can jump in.
Two things. It was my senior year that Mr. Greg Mims, Sr., came to talk to our senior class in 1987. And he came to talk about the joys of being a social work profession, in the social work profession. And he was talking in Elder Kelly's room. And when he talked about that, it really hit me. It was like he was just talking to me. And after that presentation that he gave in Elder Kelly's room, I decided that I was going to dedicate my life to the profession of social work. So I knew then what I was going to do from that presentation. And also the ability to run for office and be an elected official all came from OCASA, our student government, where Mr. Monroe was our sponsor, Ms. Peters. And those years of being in student government, 9th grade class senator, and 11th grade, junior year and senior year, really provided me the foundation of everything I've done here in South Bend, Indiana. How to organize, how to work with the different classes, how to deal with the school board. All of those kind of things gave me the foundation. So I learned my professional world from Oakwood Academy, and I learned my political world from Oakwood Academy. So I'm always grateful. Today I had to go find my green and yellow. And so, so yeah, I got me a green suit and yellow shirt and everything. I'll be proud. Hey. I tell you, I remember in 9th grade, we fought against the uniform, but we lost that one. But so, hey, I now appreciate the color of green and yellow, but it really helped me to define who I am. So having those friendships throughout the years, like Everett was saying, has been a great thing, and it really gave me clarity. So I really appreciate that.
Okay.
Well, I have, I didn't realize it at the time, but when I was in the academy and Ms. Winslow was teaching English, she taught it, she taught the old English, the old fables, I guess you would say. And I would ask myself, why are we talking about Beowulf, whoever that was? whoever that was. And then she would always talk about Beowulf. She talked about the old English stuff. And I just couldn't figure out why we were doing all that. Then when I got into to college, I took up one of the things I majored in political science, but I took a lot of philosophy courses. And I think that on each of my philosophy courses, I think there were 8 philosophy courses that I took, and I got A on each one of them. And I think a lot of this is, even though I didn't recognize back in those days that talking about these things in the abstract, talking about Beowulf, talking about the old English stuff when it didn't make sense, I think it certainly engendered critical thinking, and it helped me in philosophy. And philosophy is a great it's a great area to major in, even though I was in political science, if you want to be a lawyer, because you have to think in the abstract. And after doing so well in philosophy, I felt that I could do well in the practice of law. And it has followed me all throughout. And I think I have to give the credit to Mrs. Winslow, my English teacher, for focusing in on and showing us how important it was to learn this stuff, even though we probably I never use it again, just like I never used geometry again from Miss Meredith or algebra for that matter. But we needed to learn it, and they made us learn it.
All right.
I'll jump in here. You know, my daughter, she took dual enrollment courses this past year, not this year, the year before. She's a graduated senior now. And one of the classes she took at Oakwood University as dual enrollment was pre-calculus from Mr. Lang at the university. And I remember her working homework problems for Mr. Lang's class. I'm talking 25, 30 math problems. And, you know, she would just be going into the night working these problems, and I'd help her every once in a while. She'd ask questions every once in a while. And that brought back memories to me because, you know, my desire to get into engineering was because I like math. Thanks to Mr. Lang. Of course, back then, when you're doing 20, 30, 40 problems a night for homework, you don't understand why. You don't understand the repetition and why he gives so much homework. But that repetition just grew into not only pre-calculus, algebra 1, algebra 2 pre-calculus, but then you start to jump into calculus and you start jumping into other math, the higher levels of math. And through every class I took from that point on, when I went to undergraduate as well as graduate school, whenever I took a math course, I was always disappointed that I didn't get a lot of problems. If we got homework and they gave us 4 or 5 problems, I'd say, this is it? I mean, I want to do more. I want to explore more. I want to find out more. I want to do more problems. And I used to always think about Mr. Lang. So when my daughter took his class last year, it just brought back memories. So to answer that question, that stands out to me. That shaped my career. Just the desire, a love for math, how things move, how things rotate, the dimensions of that, and how to put all the pieces together to make something work. I thank Mr. Lang every day, and believe it or not, he's still doing it. And we really appreciate the influence that he's had in Oakwood Adventist Academy and in my life.
Okay. Jewell?
Oakwood Academy shaped me in knowing that it's the relationships that you build with students, the relationships that my teachers built with me. Iris Sutton, she was my keyboarding teacher. Back then they called it typing, but she was my keyboarding teacher. And it was the relationships that she built with me. She was there with me every step of the way after I've completed Oakwood Academy and the college. One of her daughters was in my wedding. She attended all my funerals that I had for my family. And I knew that going in when I was a teacher as well as an assistant principal and as a principal, that the relationships that I have with my students is what they're going to remember when they leave. And I ran into one of my students at Marshall's of all places. And it wasn't what I taught him, because I taught him science. It was what we were discussing about life. And he's a musician now, and he invites me to some of his sets. And he also plays for Capitol Hill, their band. So I remember that I needed to build relationships with my students and with the community. And Oakwood Academy taught me that.
Okay. Mrs. Judge Keys, you're jumping in?
No, I'd already commented.
Okay. Okay. Your box lit up.
Oh, no, I didn't.
All
I didn't do anything.
Jewell, it's wonderful to hear that you are a principal. Is that correct?
Cool.
Yes, I am.
In a high school?
At a high school, an alternative school, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And
Thank
even
you.
though I'm laughing about a career, I have built my career in not only Adventist education, but the public sector as well. But I can say that being closely connected with Oakwood Adventist Academy, because when I was a student at Oakwood University or Oakwood College, there were students still living in the dormitory who attended Oakwood Adventist Academy. And one thing I noted about those students, and I can't even tell you many of their names, that they were studious young folk. They were about taking care of business. And that's one thing that I noted the first year I was there as a freshman college student, but the academy students were focused on doing what they were called to do. And when you talk about the relationships, children who have attended Oakwood Adventist Academy, who have graduated from Oakwood Adventist Academy, individuals who have children, they still return to Oakwood Adventist Academy to greet the teachers that are still there. And what has been beautiful and wonderful for me, up until COVID-19, Elder Kelly would come every Friday and stand at the front door and hug and shake children's hands while I stood there on the other door doing the same thing. And families would drive up and blow their horns. And I said, okay, you're not blowing your horns at me? No, Elder Kelly was standing there and they were saying, good morning, Pastor. And these were grown individuals who had gone to Oakwood Adventist Academy and who now are dropping off their children. So when you mention relationship, that's vitally important for the growth and the maturity of our young people. So I appreciate hearing all of your experiences, but I have seen it as the principal of Oakwood Adventist Academy, where individuals that I had not met, but knowing the love that they have shown to the individuals that are still there, like Miss Nanetta Presley, who's still there teaching, and Miss Harvey, who's still there teaching, and Miss Middleton, who's still there teaching, and Miss Ross and Miss Johnson. And I'm looking at all of these grown people and they're saying, she was my teacher. So they come back. So when they come back, that means that something positive has taken place in the schoolhouse, and we want to continue to encourage that environment.
Okay. So I didn't have to ask you a question. You went ahead and just answered whatever it was I was going to ask for me. So we're just gonna move on to the next question. All right. So alums, if you could do one thing, leave one mark on your current profession based on your Oakwood Adventist Academy experience, what would that be? If you could do one thing, leave one mark on your current profession based on your Oakwood Adventist Academy experience, what would that be?
I'll go, if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead. No, go ahead. Anybody can jump in. Go ahead.
Okay, so for my school is an alternative school, and I have students with trauma that deal with a lot of trauma, but they are very gifted in specific things. And anyone that knows me, my building is connected to a old mansion. And I would love for my legacy to be is for my students with trauma and the students that are all in the technology programs, they're called the CTE programs. If I could get them to revitalize that mansion, build it, because we have construction, we have plumbing, we have a variety of things that we could do that the students are actually taking courses in. If we could revitalize that mansion by the students, make it for the students so that the students can use it for weddings, receptions, anything like that. And I would love for that to be a part of the legacy for my students with trauma, as well as the students for the county.
I would say to them that remember, no matter what you achieve in life, no matter how far you go in life, that never forget where you came from. And that is something that I will never forget. I know where I came from. I know where I've been, and I like where I am better than where I came from, where I started from. But you cannot forget where you came from, and you must, I believe that we owe an obligation to those coming behind us to ensure that they, to the best of our ability, that they succeed. I think honesty, humility is something I think we think about federal judges as being gruff and being unreasonable and being able to do whatever they want to do. And that is not, and that when I came into the profession back in the 1990s, 1994, there were some real concern and fear of a lot of litigants about coming into federal court, because at that time we had this the indeterminate sentencing, we had the disparity between crack cocaine and power cocaine. They were sending people away for life, and people were, especially African Americans, they were reluctant, or they were afraid to come before federal judges. I like to think that during my 20-year tenure on the district court, that a lot of that have been, they come before me, they would come before me, they looked and they'd be pleasantly surprised when they say, this guy is just like one of us. And I think that's important. Know where you came from and treat everybody with dignity and respect. And so that they will know that whether they won or lost a case, that they got a fair shake, and that's all you can ask for.
Okay. What about you, Oliver?
I think the thing that stands out for me is from Oakwood Academy, and that relates to my life now, is make sure that you have somebody within your inner circle that believes in you. My first campaign manager was Leroy Johnson, and rest his soul. And as he died back in a car accident in '91. But when I was running for student body president, I didn't think I was going to win. And that afternoon, I spoke to Leroy. He said, "You're going to win. I'm going to help you to win." And he designed what we needed to do for the campaign that time. And I've used a lot of, it's amazing, here you are in high school. The importance of having somebody in your life that's in your inner circle that believes in you like that has been the same kind of strategies that I've used throughout my life. And every time I start a campaign, I have a little moment in my own mind that I pause to reflect on that conversation I had with Leroy, because he gave me the confidence to win. And we have to have more people getting involved in the political levels on our school boards in our cities, in our counties, in our areas. We are well prepared from our schools, and we have to believe that. And having people in your life that come and tell you those kind of things really uplift you. And I appreciate the people at Oakwood Academy that gave me that confidence. And now here in South Bend, my job is to give other people that confidence too. And so my legacy that I would like for people to believe is the fact that I helped to give them confidence to believe others times when they didn't believe, because helping people see farther than what they can see is been the whole area of my life. And started back in Oakwood Academy, and I'm glad, and I must give a shout out to my father, who is turning 90 years old. He also taught at Oakwood Academy, and from the 60s to the early 70s. And he gave me my first campaign, so monies, and got me through the losses and the victories. You have to have people to believe. And in a day and time when so many times people hate politics or think everybody who's in politics is crooked, no matter what side of the aisle, you have to have people that still believe that there is still honor and that we are still called to make a difference in our lives. And it starts back in childhood, and we can help people to see that. And I tell them, to the students I work with, you think about running for office, if they can see somebody who looks like me run for office, then they can be encouraged. And that's what my goal is, to encourage them to believe in their dreams and to believe that they can go beyond what they could ever believe in their entire life.
Okay. What about you, Ev?
Yeah, the structure of Oakwood Adventist Academy, excuse me, is one of those of you that aren't aware of this. The constituent churches help us run Oakwood Adventist Academy. In Huntsville, we have 9 constituent churches. Ms. Dent is aware of this. And our church has put in well over $60,000, $70,000 per month to keep Oakwood Adventist Academy going. It's a support. It says, hey, we got your back. We're here to build Oakwood Adventist Academy with you. It's teamwork. And when I think of, like I said earlier, the relationships that I've had over the years, it's teamwork as well. I know when like I said, if I'm out in the community, if I'm at church, and I see someone from Oakwood Adventist Academy, we have a connection. There's a connection there. If I need to lean on someone, I know I have friends that I can reach on, that I can lean to. And that is not just in my circle or in my year, that goes back years. So you'll find that you're hanging out or friends with or reaching back to younger people like Robin Lang. I wouldn't have thought when I was growing up that Robin would be a peer of mine. So as you get older, the gap starts to shrink and it becomes a level playing field, and you're all just part of the same team to try to build some cohesion. And just like that constituency structure, I think that Oakwood Adventist Academy is unique in that respect. And so to apply that into my job where I work, the Army structure is all about teamwork. So the team that we have, I've learned that from just Oakwood Adventist Academy, in my dealings with not even my close friends, but in my circle, whatever it may be, I've learned that you have to be cohesive in what you're doing. So I tell our team all the time, we have to look out for each other. We have to have each other's back. If you're the oldest or the youngest, you have to see them as part of the team, and we have to continue to grow and work together. Because if you're divided in any one area, then you're limping, right? So we try to pull each other up and pull each other together and be cohesive. So that's what I've learned from Oakwood Adventist Academy. Like I said, the principal becomes your friend, the teacher becomes your friend, your classmates remain your friends. The classmates or the colleagues that you had that are younger than you all of a sudden become like peers that were in your class. And even those older, they all seem like it was just one, we all seem like we were there at the exact same time. And so I would say in my profession, teamwork. And that's what's keeping Oakwood Adventist Academy going. And that's what I believe in, and that's what I try to instill in my everyday job.
Dr. Patterson, may I jump in here?
And let me say this also, I don't think you've noticed that I'm wearing my Oakwood Adventist Academy shirt.
I was looking for the logo.
Right, I had to wear this. So Oliver, I'm sorry, your green and yellow is good, but I think I got you.
I got you.
I got you.
I have on a green suit. I appreciate what Dr. Roper just said about teamwork. We've been studying in our Sabbath school lesson about all the parts of the body and how we work cohesively together with the constituent model. And I can tell you over the course of my career, I've seen a well-oiled constituency model here at Oakwood Adventist Academy, and I've been in other conferences. But I have seen where Dr. Roper and our board members and our local pastors meeting together, talking about our school, the small churches as well as the large churches. The small churches are trying to give as much as they possibly can to support Oakwood Adventist Academy. And the larger churches are doing the same and holding up the lion's share of what we need to do for our school. But one thing that I would like to do before the Lord says it's time for you to go home and sit down, I would like to see, when we talk about the Alumni Association, that the Alumni Association, not just with words, but with their resources to help our school. Because as you look around the country, Adventist institutions are falling off the cliff. And they're not getting the support that we need. I know of alumni associations all over the place that are trying to build buildings, and they haven't built them yet. But Oakwood Adventist Academy, with all the churches, built that brand new high school with the support of the Etta Dudley and Charles Dudley Foundation. But I want to be able to say before I leave, and what I'd like to see happen at Oakwood Adventist Academy, that we really gather our alumni who say they bleed green and gold to be able to support us, not only in any way possible, but financially, to keep our school and our doors open for our students. Even though now parents are struggling and taking their children to other places because of the pandemic, many of the families have lost jobs. Our structure, which is on the backs of our parents of paying tuition, they're struggling. And I have to say that as a principal of the school. And I want us as the alumni, you all have gone to be judges and doctors and lawyers and attorneys, engineers, you're all over the place. But God has blessed you through that little shotgun school, going from one door to the other. And you know what? Our brand new school is almost a shotgun school. But however, we have the resources. We have the capital resources with our alumni to be able to help us move forward with what we need to make sure our children have not only the just brick and mortar, but we have the teachers that we need to make sure that our children are leave our building exceptionally trained, just like all of you were. We need the equipment in our buildings for our children. And we're working real hard to do it, but we can't do it on the backs of our parents. We need the Alumni Association, all of the members who have graduated from Oakwood Adventist Academy, to join us with our resources to make sure that our children are not going lacking in anything. I struggle because I was a public school principal at one point, and we had the resources. I had a $3 million budget. And coming here, and we're struggling with, we need to buy, we need to get, and it's all based on what the churches can give us and what we're getting from those who may just come in and say, I believe in what you're doing. So Dr. Patterson, I want to partner with our alumni.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know if they're going to go to the site to see what I shared with them about challenging them with the funding of our school, of all the things that we need, that my husband and I, we've decided that we're going to, over the course of time, to donate $5,000 for our school. But I want others to join us as well, because I'm not a graduate of Oakwood, but anybody that looks like me, I'm gonna help you. And we need to make sure we put our resources there for our children. So Oakwood Adventist Academy, from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, and I know the university, but I am only fighting for our children at Oakwood Adventist Academy to get what we need in order to keep the doors open. So if I could leave Oakwood Adventist Academy, whenever, Dr. Roper, you all say it's time for me to go, I'd like for us to, as an alumni association, to move that forward where we give generously to our school so we can continue to have this legacy at Oakwood Adventist Academy. So that's what I'd like to see happen at Oakwood Adventist Academy once I have left, or the legacy I've left to be able to, for the 2 years I'm finishing this year, 2 years, because my heart is where our children are, and in our Adventist schools, we need to make a difference and put our money where our mouth is. That's all
Dr.
I have.
Patterson, can I add to that?
Go ahead.
Can I add that before? You can just scratch off the end of what she said. For what she said, 1 or 2 more years, her contract is extended as long as she wants to stay. So don't worry about that part.
My brothers and sisters are listening to this, and they may say, "Oh, girl," but however, but it's all good. It's just been a joy there. And if I have to beg for our children, I'm going to beg, because I see the difference it's making in their lives, and the parents in the community who are fighting for Oakwood Adventist Academy. So let's all fight together.
You're exactly right. And the one thing I wanted to add was that for those of us that went to the old Oakwood Adventist Academy, it's old now, can you believe we're saying that? We went to the one hall, as we called it. I had the opportunity after the beginning of August, when we moved out into the new building, to go to the old building now. What's the Academy old building, J.T. Stafford building. And a new occupant is in that building. And so the sign is up and they painted. And I actually walked in the door and I wanted to say to them, "What are you doing in my high school?" So for 30 years, we wanted this, we got it. And it felt like something had just been ripped out of the side of me. I had so many memories when I just walked in there. It touched me in a different way. But I wanted to say, I say that to say this: if you are in the Huntsville area and you are an alum, or if you are not in the Huntsville area and you come to town, I know Ms. Dent will agree with me. Go to the new academy. Just ring the bell. You have to ring the bell because there's high security there now. Ring the bell. They will let you in. You will sign in and get a tour of that building, and you will be proud. You will be proud of what we have put together and what our young people are being educated in. You'll miss the old Oakwood Adventist Academy, but you'll stick your chest out when you walk in this building and you see what God has done for us. So thank you to Ms. Dent for the work, and all the churches and those who are listening, and all of the parents that have given, and all of the constituents that have given, and all of the members that have given in their church for this effort. But also thank you to the alum that have given, because the alumni during my tenure had given over $50,000, almost $100,000, between $50,000 and $100,000 towards this effort, the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 effort. So really appreciative, and thank you very much, Dr. Patterson, for doing this for us and for the honor.
And Dr. Roper, I want you to know, I went to the principal, I told him, "You have your covering over our sign that's been there for years.
That's right.
You will not tear that down. That belongs to us." So he assured me that it's just covered. It's not, and when we're ready to take it, we will take our sign to the new school.
And you know what's funny? I was talking to some friends, some graduates, and as much as we talked about it, Jewell, Robin, and even you, Dr. Patterson, and Oliver, much as we talked about getting out of that school because we hated it, now can you believe people are talking about, graduates are talking about going up there to have like a worship service, or to have a candlelight service, or just to get around there and just one last memory. So we wanted to get away so bad. Now we're away and we want to go back. And but God is good. You'd be proud of the new building.
Mm-hmm.
Can you forward the information to us on how to contribute to the?
Oh, definitely.
I'm ready. You got me going.
Praise God.
www.oaa-alumni. I'll email this to you.
Okay, email it to me, and you're going to get a generous contribution.
Go ahead, Jesus. Dr. Still say it online.
I'm about
Say it
to.
out, slow it down because you have senior citizens listening.
Yep.
If you would like to contribute to Oakwood Adventist Academy, we are asking you to go to our new website, www.oaaalumni.org. Go to giving, and then there's a section that says make a gift today, or it says make a gift now. And you can make a one-time gift, you can make an ongoing gift, you can even you can gift us by Cash App, $OAA alum. But go to www.oaaalumni.org and click on giving, and there's several different options. We also have some giving campaigns for some needs at the new school that they still have for the new school. I think there's some furniture campaign. There are a couple of campaigns on there, but if you just want to be consistent in your giving and just give, there's a secure spot for you to be able to do that. So we'll get that out to you. So everybody, alumni. Yes, sir.
If you could put that in the chat, then everybody
Yes.
can have it. So put that information in the chat, I think.
And while you're doing that, they delivered our beautiful collaboration room furniture for our young people. It is simply gorgeous, where our children can sit and work on their laptops or their computers or Chromebooks while they're waiting for their next class. And when they delivered it, I took 1,000 pictures. But however, just so much is taking place where we need all of your financial support. And it's for our children. It's not for us. It's for our children.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up because I'm very cognizant of you all's time, and I appreciate you all taking time out to meet with us. With some of y'all in different time zones. We had someone from Japan. Robert Peters was on our meet and greet from Japan, and it was actually the next day. I think it was 8 o'clock yesterday. So we appreciate you taking out time to be with us. And so we're going to ask one last question, and that is, what is the legacy? Seeing that OAA is in your DNA, what is the legacy that you want to leave?
Can I go? Can I get started?
Go ahead.
Okay, so OAA in my DNA, it's been in my parents' DNA as well. So my husband and I want to establish a scholarship for students on a yearly basis for individuals that would not otherwise be able to graduate because of finances, to be able to graduate at that end of the year. So we are going to start that process, and it's going to be called the James and Merlene Scholarship Fund.
Great, great. What legacy do you all want to leave?
Thank you, Jewell.
I was thinking about that today. In terms of for Oakwood Academy, one of the things I do need to start, and it's been different when you're far away, but it's time for me to even look at home and take care of home. And I graduated class of 1987. And my first thing that I want to start off is, over this next year, give $1,987 to reflect that, to start for helping out for scholarships, to reflect my year. My parents were both professors there, so getting tuition, we got the discount. So not a lot of people don't have that opportunity. So I want to start giving money for that standpoint. And I appreciate the ability to move forward in my life based off Oakwood Academy. So in honor of my class, I want to move forward with my own efforts of $1,987 to move forward.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm gonna aid ban everybody that says something about cash.
That's right.
You can always use that, right?
Yes. Dr. Patterson, you shouldn't have brought me on. You shouldn't have awarded me anything.
No, you're the right person.
Comes to your
I'll make my first donation to that this month. So we'll start that out this month. That's month. So there we go.
I'm taking Mrs. Dent everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, we're gonna put her on.
Go for it.
She has that money appeal. I don't have it. She has that money appeal. I got it intellectually, but she knows how to draw those on the heartstrings.
I'm telling my husband we'll eat beans and rice, rice and beans, rice, beans, rice for the next few months, but we're good because some child is gonna rise up and say, you blessed us. So that's all that we are all about, everybody on this screen and everybody's listening. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it for our children.
Yes,
And I will pledge next week to, assuming Dr. Patterson that you get the information to me on how to do it.
I'm doing it tonight.
I'm going to pledge $1,000 for next week to send to you.
Okay. I will have it. I will have the link to you tonight.
Okay.
As we get off.
You'll get it Monday. You'll get it Monday. Okay. That's my short-term legacy.
Okay, we appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Legacy.
Yeah, I'm blessed in that I live in Huntsville, and Oliver and Jewell, obviously, I can say this, I guess 3 of us can, Robin and Jared. You have my financial contribution. My kids are going through there. Oliver, no university discount, just straight tuition. That's number 1. And you have my time. I have since my kids have been there, my wife and I have been part of home and school. My wife was home and school leader 1 year. Obviously, I was on the board. I was the vice chair of the board. I was the Alumni Association president, and now I'm the board chair. You've got my time. You've got my service.
Absolutely.
You've also got my tuition, but then you also have my financial contribution as well. So the legacy I want to leave is just putting in the work. Talk is cheap, as they say. So talking, it doesn't get you anywhere. I'm a believer in jumping in. If you're going to be serious about it, jump in and get dirty. So my legacy will be that I just gave back in any way that I could. And acts of service is probably one of the strongest things that I can do, especially because I'm local.
Amen.
Those of you that may not be local is different, but those of us that are here, and it's a powerful group of alumni that are in the Huntsville area. So I encourage each of you to give back in some way, shape, or form. There's so much you can do. You don't have to be on the board to make a difference. Ms. Dent can use you in so many ways.
Yes.
I want to say this, and this is a plug for her and her administration. I talked about the old academy and going into the new. Ms. Dent, during the month of June and July in her administration, they had to get rid of everything in the academy. And I'm not talking about just desks and chairs. They had to go into each closet. And let me tell you, Jewell, when she talked about some of the stuff that she found in Miss O'Brien's closet, she's pulling out stuff that predated even me in my class. She's pulling out old boxes and old books and old things that I said, you know what? We could have helped you with this, Ms. Dent. The alumni could have come together and we could have helped. But they did that. Those administrators by themselves pulled out everything from every room, had to gut that place out. And so those are the kind of things we can do. We can jump in, we can help, we can get dirty, we can get sweaty, and we can help move things. And then we had a move day, and alumni did come out, and parents did come out, and we actually physically moved the items from one building to the other. And so there's many things we can do. Ms. Dent will put you to work, so be careful what you ask for, but do ask. And
because I'll work right along with you.
that's right.
I'll work right along with you.
She was out there too. So that would be the legacy I want to leave. So thank you.
Dr. Patterson, before
Yes,
we wrap up, I know there's a lot of alumni who have done very, very well, who do not live in the Huntsville area, so they can't give that gift of service. So I'm going to ask them, I don't know if you can see my fist. If you keep your fist closed, you're not going to receive any blessings. But if you open it finger by finger by finger and open it and give, God is going to continue to give you blessings. So I want to encourage, my class has a bunch of doctors. I want to encourage class of 1991 who are doing well and who can afford it to really go back and give to Oakwood Academy. It has done wonders for us. It has prepared us to be the people that we are today. And I want us to stop keeping our fists closed and open them up to be a blessing to others as we receive a blessing from God.
Thank you, Jewel, for that. We're going to be appealing to a lot of classes. We're going to be working on that. We're going to be working on that this year, and I appreciate that. Again, I want to thank all of our 2020 alumni honorees for taking the time to be with us and to talk to us in this virtual space. Prayerfully, we hope to invite you back next year. I think it's September 2nd through the 5th, 2021, where we're anticipating that we'll be able to meet again. We're anticipating our school will be back open at full blast with enrollment back where it was. We're anticipating being able to get together as a family and celebrate a big milestone for Oakwood Adventist Academy, 125 years. You know, I think we're one of the oldest K-12 schools in the state of Alabama. If we're not the second oldest, we're the oldest. To be able to celebrate that legacy is going to be pretty amazing, and I would love for us to be able to. Now, of course, there are going to be some new norms, but at the same time, we would like to invite you all back. If you can return, it'll be an exciting time. But we're going to be building up, planning, and praying ahead for that. We want to thank our alumni and supporters for joining us here live. If you have any contact, if you know any of these honorees or you have any contact with them, we ask that you congratulate them and show your appreciation to them. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for each of you all. We appreciate this. This is the first time we've done this, and I got to get my tech game up. I thought I was good with the tech game, but I'm trying to monitor. I'm getting emails. Hey, the link's not working. I'm like, oh snap. But I appreciate you. And I hope that you all have we hope that you have a good rest of this weekend, this long Labor Day weekend, and we get back to what is that we do on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all.
Bye.
Let's say bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. God
Bye.
bless.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You'll enjoy your first year, your opening of school.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
Praying
you.
for you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't want to leave. Bye.
I know.
I don't want to cut you off. I'm just holding out for a couple of minutes.
But we do almost have 200 students.
Okay, cool.
Building virtually and traditionally.
Praise
And
God.
students are still trying to enroll, and even those students who are in a different state are trying to virtually apply as well. So I'm not mad at anybody. God is good.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.